What's this? Olympus covering a shooter? Yeah, it's happening. Now, I know this channel is primarily focused on Sega, Nintendo, and different platformers, but I do enjoy the occasional shooter. During the Xbox 360 era, this is where I really explored the genre the most. The reason for that, many of my friends had Xbox and Xbox Live, and at that time, shooters were dominating the market, whether it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Halo 3, or this game which we're reviewing today, Gears of War. So as in heads up, for this review, I'm not reviewing the original 360 version, but instead I chose to play the Ultimate Edition, which is essentially the first Gears game running on a new engine, so kind of like the Batman Return to Arkham collection. Better looking cutscenes, updated gameplay, and much more. So if you play Gears 1, this is the best way to do so. The Ultimate Edition also includes extras like comic strips and concept art, so pretty cool stuff. So I don't remember exactly how I obtained Gears of War on the Xbox 360, but I want to say it was a birthday or a Christmas gift. I just remember having tons of fun with this game. It was like playing a high testosterone action film. The shooting mechanics, the different types of enemies and weapons were also pretty cool to see back then. And this was the game that really got me into the third-person shooter genre. Fast forward today, Gears is one of Microsoft's most popular franchises next to Halo. I'm talking spin-offs, books, merchandise, all the signs that Gears has a very solid following. But let's go back to where it all started. Is this worth playing today? In terms of the story, Gears of War follows the COG, a military group that is at war with the Locust. There was a day referred to as E-Day when the Locust emerged and wiped out most of the civilization. In the beginning of the game, we're introduced to this soldier named Marcus Phoenix. Now, why he's in jail in the first place is not really explained in detail here, but I know later games expand upon this. We meet characters like Dom, Baird, and Cole, and honestly, I love the chemistry these guys have, but we don't know really much about these guys to begin with in this game. That was my only complaint about the story here. We're introduced to so many cool concepts and characters with no real explanation of what's going on. Why was Marcus locked up? Why are the Locusts declaring war on humanity? And I am aware that other games and supplementary material piece it all together, so I'll save my thoughts for those reviews. The story is still very entertaining, and even though the voice acting can be laughable at times, it was still a great time, and I love the chemistry the main characters have with each other. Now the gameplay. This is where the game really shines for me. This is a third-person shooter with a damn good cover system. If I'm not mistaken, Gears of War is the game that really popularized the style of shooter. The cover system is really fun and has a bit of strategy on where you position your characters. There are also different guns you can use. The iconic Lancer, which is an automatic weapon with a built-in chainsaw. It is so satisfying to run up on the Locust and just slice them in two. One mechanic that I found very unique was the active reload system. It's kind of like a minigame in itself when you reload. If you do it perfectly, your bullets will hit much harder, but if you mistime it, well, your gun will jam. I also really love the frag grenades. It is so fun to catch a group of locusts together and boom. I also love the T-bow. It is literally like explosive arrows that stick to the surface or directly to the enemy. This weapon has become one of my favorite weapons in the entire series. You also have sniper rifles, rocket launcher in the form of the boom shot, and much more. So experiment around with different weapons. The levels are very linear. The levels are wide, but the game always kind of pushes you in one direction to keep the story going. Now, in terms of enemy variety, you have the standard Locusts, who are pretty much the same as you. They take cover and shoot, but you also have many variants. Locusts who can crawl and explode, and some who are snipers. You also have the Berserkers, who are very scary, but thanks to the Hammer of Dawn, they go down easy. Just don't get tackled. The boss fights here are pretty cool looking, but they're little on the easy side. Even with the final boss, Rom, you pretty much just shoot when you have an opening. But this is still a fun game overall. This game also offers multiplayer, but I could not land a match at all. And I'm sure this will be true for all the older Gears, considering Gears 5 is now the most relevant game in the series. Overall, Gears of War is a very fun action shooter. The war between the COG and the Locust seem interesting, so I look forward to getting into more of the story elements as we continue through this series. Gears of War 1 is considered a classic, and I highly recommend you guys play this if you're a fan of the genre. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.